Hello YouTube people and welcome to another Doctor Who Series 8 review. This time I'm going to be reviewing Series 8 Episode 3, Robot of Sherwood, written by Mark Gatiss. There's spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen the episode yet, so if you haven't seen the episode, look away now. Okay, so Mark Gatiss in the past has written some good episodes and some piss poor episodes. His Unquiet Dead episode was one of my favourites, as was Cold War, but then episodes like The Idiot's Lantern and Night Terrors were just not at the same level. And I think the Robin Hood episode is like Marmite, you either like it or you don't. Whereas I have issues and positives to say about it. I have bits of both, and I'm going to talk about the bits that I really liked and the bits that I thought were not up to scratch. I thought supporting characters were great. Tom Riley as Robin Hood and Ben Miller as the Sheriff of Nottingham I thought that was great casting. I love Ben Miller anyway. He's a great actor, especially in like Primeval, and I watched him in Watch QI and stuff. He's always great on that. Tom Riley, I think, is someone I've never really seen before, but he played the role really well. Clara in this episode again is just, for the first two episodes she was very sort of like trying to help the Doctor and like thingy, but this time I felt like she was just there because to be saved more than anything. And she spent half the time shouting at the Doctor, which I don't think was in the companion's character to do. Even though it was her choice to go to Sherwood to see Robin Hood, although I did like the scene in the TARDIS where the Doctor's like, shall we go to Mars instead, or to this place, or to this place? And she's like, no, Robin Hood, you told me it was my choice. And so, yeah, I thought the whole Robin Hood thing becoming, like making him an actual person when he's just a myth, was a bit silly. The episode itself fell flat in places, but I tell you one thing that didn't fall flat was the Doctor's banter with Robin Hood. Those scenes were great. The first scene where they're on the little bridge of the little stream, and he's like, "Has anyone ever punched you in the face?" And he's like, "Not yet." Oh, good thing that I'm here then. I loved that. I love that speech. Like the Doctor actually contemplating punching someone. He's not really violent at the best of times. Although this new regeneration seems to be more so than the others. I mean, Matt Smith did punch Bracewell, but that was because he was a bomb. I know he could have just said like, "Oh, lie down, I'm gonna defuse you." But I'm getting off topic. The robot knights I thought were well done. In terms of the design, they looked big, and the little cross thing that shot everyone. I thought that was a good way, and the way that they ended up getting destroyed at the end was a good way, using mirrors to deflect them. I like that scene because it's the first time we've seen the Doctor help so many people, and this is a different change to this Doctor's character, so it's quite good. It was quite nice. I liked that. I thought the Merry Men characters were just fillers. I don't think they were there other than the fact that they needed to be, because you can't have Robin Hood without his Merry Men. Although there were some funny exchanges between some of the Merry Men, especially when the Doctor was in Sherwood Forest and he was analysing them, getting hair, getting sandals, getting blood analysis. That line where he's like, "Oh, so many diseases. You've only got six. If you were real, you'd only have 6 weeks to live." I thought that was funny, and then he uses the same line again where he's like, and Alan Adale's like, "Oh, and he's going to reign over us for all time, or in 6 weeks in your case." I thought that scene was good. The problem I had with the episode was the pacing in the middle parts, where the Doctor, Robin Hood, and Clara got captured and put into the cellar, into the dungeons. They just spent most of the episode in that cellar, not really doing anything other than arguing. And then Clara got her own little confrontation with the Sheriff of Nottingham, which I didn't like, because she's getting overused a bit now. She's going off and doing her own thing, and we're starting. It's becoming more like Companion Who than Doctor Who. That was the one case that I had with it. The one problem I had with it. But yeah, Ben Miller was great, really villainous. The fact that he wasn't afraid, that Mark Gatiss wasn't afraid to write a stabbing scene in. There was a beheading scene in the episode originally in the script, but it got cut due to everything that's been in the news recently. But I agree with the BBC for doing that. I think if they'd have put that in, it would have been disrespectful to the US viewers, and I'm glad that they kept that out. But in that actual scene, it was revealed that the Sheriff of Nottingham was actually a robot, which I think would have been more important to the plot. But it didn't need that 1 minute of extra footage um, to conclude it the way it did. But if we'd have, we might have understood it a bit more if that 1 minute of footage was in there. But yeah, no, I'm glad they took it out because it obviously it's more respectful to do that. Peter Capaldi is just getting better and better. I think his presence in episodes are are just great. I love the scene where they're having the archery contest for the golden arrow, which I knew would be used again in the episode because you can't. It's pointless having something as a prize that it's not going to get used again. I thought that that was like a clever little twist at the end. But the fact that he was using it, he was cheating and using a, a bow with a magnet on it to propel it to the target. I thought that was great. And then he just blows it up with the sonic screwdriver. That during the dungeon scene, the bit that was really slow, the bit I didn't particularly like, there was one line where the Doctor and Robin Hood were discussing plans, and Clara says, "So go on then, Doctor, what's your plan? And if you use the words sonic screwdriver, I'm going to kill you." I just thought that was I thought that was really funny because that's Mark Gatiss poking fun at the fact that the sonic screwdriver is now overused for everything. The Doctor used it for most of the first act of the episode, like scanning thingies, even scanned an apple. I didn't see the point in that. So yeah, I had sort of mixed feelings about the episode. There were things that I generally did like, and things that I just thought fell flat on their face. But in terms of cinematography and direction and locations, I just thought that that was brilliant. Um, finding the medieval castles and the forest looked great, and some of the shots that we used with the stream at the start and getting all that many extras, I just thought that that was. I thought in terms of shooting the episode, it was amazing, and it's like production value of this series of Doctor Who has gone up in my estimations. It keeps getting better and better and better. Series 7 was lacking in special effects, and just these last few episodes production have just been wonderful, actually wonderful. Um, we got a reference to the Promised Land again. That's the overbearing theme of the series, the arc. It still doesn't explain what the Promised Land is. I'm sure we won't find that out until the last episodes. But it was nice to see a little reference to the overall arc of the series. It would be nice to get some context, but as I said, we probably won't understand much till much later on in the series' run. But I'm sensing a robot theme in the Promised Land because all the robots want to go to the Promised Land. The half-faced man did, and now these robot knights had the destination, the Promised Land. We didn't see Missy in this episode because no one had died or sacrificed himself for the Doctor. But it's beginning to make more like things are beginning to make more sense in terms of the series arc. I thought costumes were great. All the period costumes were great. Clara's dress was great. And yeah, I mean, it was fun. The episode was fun. A bit of a filler if you're looking at terms like that, because if I'm thinking that Stephen Moffat didn't actually know where to place this episode in the series on, because I was thinking if you were going to put this episode at like 8 or 9 or something, it's going to distract us from the main plot. And I think it was a good time for it because we've had these two really dark episodes. I mean, there were some dark moments in the episode, with the killing with the sheriff killing Master Quayle and the the beheading scene, which was cut out, but that would have been dark as well. Considering the demographics of the show is changing. Well, it's not really changing, but they're playing around with the demographics of the show a bit more now, considering it's aimed at children normally, and they're making this a more sort of dark series, which is good. I don't think when the DVD comes out, I don't think it'll be a PG like the others were. I think it's going to be a 12, at least, which is good because it's what the show needs. Peter Capaldi's Doctors was told we were going to get a darker Doctor, and we're getting a darker Doctor, and we're getting a darker series, and I'm loving it. We're going back to a sort of darker theme in the next episode. Listen, next week, which I'm looking forward to as well. It was one of the ones that I thought was going to be amazing. Just from reading up on it and finding all these things out, and I think it could be a Stephen Moffat gem, one of his gems that he has. He has a few of them, like Blink and Girl in the Fireplace and Silence in the Library. He has these episodes that are just classics, and I think it's going to become a classic. I do. It looks scary. But when I think of Robot of Sherwood as a whole, I thought acting was great. I thought there were some scenes that were just a bit too long. Maybe could have been cut down. Clara's getting a bit annoying. The Doctor didn't show much remorse as well. I did notice that the Doctor was showing less remorse than usual. Like when when Robin Hood and Clara jumped out of that window, we couldn't see, we couldn't see the sadness on his face. But then again, we're still getting used to this Doctor. If he probably, as long as he starts to care, then that's what the audience is going to want to watch. But I generally thought the episode was just average. It had some funny moments in, as I said. It had some good scenes, as I said. The things that aren't letting these episodes down is what I said before about just production value. So kudos on the production. But I think I'm gonna give this episode a 5.5 out of 10. No, 6 out of 10. I'll give it 6 because there are certain things that could have made it much better. But I think it's because I love the Robin Hood myth too much, and I think confusing playing around with the story, making it Doctor Who related, was a bit of a risky move. Considering I used to watch Robin Hood on the BBC, I used to love that series. But no, it wasn't terrible. I've seen a lot worse on Doctor Who. Oh, sorry, anything Love and Monsters. But yeah, 6 out of 10, and I will. I want to know what you think of the episode. I want to see you leave a comment on the page. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe, like this video, and I will see you next week for the Listen review, episode 4. So, see you then. Bye bye.